I wouldn't be a good dad to her. I would be really protective, but I had this underlying feeling that, and I wrote a song about it too, and I had this underlying feeling that she would one day start dating who I was in the past.
Watch me flip the switch like this. Watch me flip the switch like this.
I don't know.
It's all good.
But yeah, man, welcome to the podcast where we flip the switch on everything.
On everything.
Everything from relationships to spirituality, from freedom and identity to whatever else you want to talk about. And right now, we're going to talk about fatherhood.
It is that month.
It is that month. It is that time. Some people might be like, oh, Father's Day is not for another couple of weeks or so. Listen, we understand that. But in this month, we are going to really be highlighting and talking about fathers. We are going to be talking about fatherhood. And so, yeah, y'all rock with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is definitely something that needs to be talked about. This is a subject matter and topic that needs to be heard and understood and even have a difference of perspective. You know what I'm saying? We need to change our perspective. We need to change the narrative of fatherhood so that we can have, I don't want to just say more fathers in the homes, but we need to just, fatherhood needs to be seen.
Well, we do want more fathers in the homes, though. We do.
No, I'm not saying not that. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to say it just limited to that necessarily. Like, I don't want people to think that it's only about trying to get fathers in the homes. Like, it's not just that. Because, I mean, we have some fathers that are in the homes and they are crappy fathers. And
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? In some cases, because of that toxicness, it would sometimes be better if a child didn't have a father in the home.
Well, they not fathers then. They sperm donors. We got sperm donors in the home. We're trying to make them become fathers.
Okay, I can go with you on that. So I guess we could just say, we can say, I ain't gonna knock that one. That was a good one. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, man. But this is important, man, because I grew up without a father, and fatherhood is important to me. Like, I see how important it is.
Yeah, and we ourselves are fathers. Dre has 2 kids. I got 3. They call me Papa. Like some of my friends, some of my brothers, they text me and they say, "Hey, Papa, what's going on?" I get called Papa now. I don't know. I just laugh every time when it happens, man. Or Mike Smith, he tell me, bro, like, man, you're a daddy. Like, you're a father. Like, hey, like, because I got 3 kids.
You got a squad.
Hey, man, if I would have had another boy, bro, that would have been a point guard, a center, and a power forward.
Man,
I think, or a shooting guard, of power forward, and a center. I think, because, and I just say that just because on my dad's side, it's a lot of tall people. Usually, we get to around 6 feet or so, at least. Definitely, if you're a center, you're not gonna be just 6 feet for sure. Like, you're gonna be taller than that. But I'm saying that to say, though, we got some 6'7", 8s, 9s. Yeah, we got a few tall people. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a potential possibility for a center. You know what I'm saying? But thank God that I'm done. I'm just done.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done, bro. I got my cheerleader. I got my football, basketball stars, and I'm good. I'm good, bro. We good right where we at.
We might have to talk about this off camera, but I want to know what's the precautions
we done
to being done.
That's just it. The mindset See, I think what it was that because I didn't have a girl, bro, I am mentally, I don't think I was really done yet. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm done. That's all I've got to say. Okay. So now y'all know what we're getting into. Before we fully get into that, Dre, what you got for your highlight, bro? Who we highlighting this week?
This week, I am highlighting somebody that I've been a fan of for a long time. But they did just do something this week, and I started paying more attention to what they've been doing outside of what they are known for, and I'm highlighting Lecrae. somebody that you know,
Ooh. Yeah,
that you are very familiar with.
somebody I've been a fan of since 05, 06.
You've been a fan of him since 05?
05, 06, bro. Like, literally, that's almost the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely in the beginning times of, because if I'm not mistaken, his first 2 albums were already out, because it was Real Talk. Then there was After the Music Stops, which is the second album.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the 116 Click compilation albums.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I want to say that's around the time, that I heard of him and all this. Well, no, so yeah, I want to say it was like 05, because actually, you remember MySpace?
Yeah.
Remember when you could put, music on your profile and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That was actually, I heard the 116 anthem on an old friend of mine's page at the time. And I was like, yo, this is dope. I just didn't know who it, like, really, who it was or anything. I was like, oh, this is dope. I mean, I felt like it was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I grew up in the church. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, that, to be able to kind of contextually, to be able to put the letters that Paul wrote into rap form, for me is dope.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think for those of y'all who don't know him, he is one of the, I would say, leaders of the culture, as far as being a believer and knocking down the doors of the mainstream and being right there in the midst of it all. He has one of the most, like, I just recently heard the T.I. interview with him on the podcast. He's on the the Expeditiously podcast, and T.I. said something that I agree with. He has one of the most memorable BET ciphers. I gotta give him credit just on the rap side, just for that. You know what I mean? But as a leader, as a father, his activism is one of the reasons why I'm highlighting him right now, because he's always spoke out on issues that deal with the Black community. He's always received backlash from the church for doing so, and he keeps doing it. It has not stopped him. So I respect him. I respect him for that. Yeah, it's a whole nother topic. And actually we might dive a little bit into it today. But I respect him for doing that, for making those moves. I actually got on him the first time. It was a song off Rebel. I don't even remember the name of the song, but he was rapping fast. That's all I know. And I heard.
You remember
that.
like what it's like, any of the words?
The only thing I remember is that he quoted Luke 12, 15, and 22 in the second
don't waste
verse.
Your life.
Don't waste your that's it. That's exactly what it is.
That mess, I will never forget that. I will never, like, literally, even to this day, I will sometimes go back to that to, like, get motivation when I feel like I'm wasting my life. Literally.
Oh yeah.
Like, when I feel like I know I'm not doing, I go to that song.
So when I heard that, I was like, okay, he's dope, and I still didn't like keep up with him too hard. I heard that, and then I came back a little bit, like some years later, and I heard "Praying for You." I thought that was dope. I was like, that's kind of tight, like how he flipped it at the end. And so at first I was just getting thrown songs here and there. Like Ronnie was just throwing me songs here and there, like listen to this right here, listen to this right here. But then when Church Clothes came out, I was like, I am a fan. When I heard Church Clothes, that's what took it from me. I said, oh, this dude ain't playing. He is not playing with the industry. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, oh, this dude is not playing with the industry. So that's what kind of took it from me. So he is an anomaly. He is unique in his purpose, and I gotta highlight him this week, man. This week I've paid attention to his activism. He lives what he talks about, and he actually, I as an artist to follow, you actually see growth, not just change, but growth. Like I've seen artists change, like Lil Wayne changes a lot, not really grows. You know what I mean? He changes, he doesn't really grow. I've seen Lecrae. Every time he's about to drop something new, he's always talking about some experience that he's growing from. And this is the reason why. You know what I mean? Like, this is where this album is coming from this experience that I had in my life, or this way that I was being or acting, and I wanted to come out of that. So that's where I dropped this album, and that's dope to me. You don't see that all the time. So yeah,
I do agree with that. Yeah. Hey, I gotta ask this question real quick before we get into anything else. Have you heard KB's remix verse to "Don't Waste Your Life"?
No, didn't know that existed. Did not know that existed. I had to find it. Is it just KB by himself?
Yes. There is a mashup. There is a mashup somewhere online. I'm gonna see if I can find that. But you will not have to look, my brother. You know me. I am an avid Lecrae fan. Like, I am one of those that have stuck with him through the thick and the thin, supported everything he's done overall. You know what I'm saying? I think the only thing that I ever said that I felt like I kind of wish he just hadn't done, sorry Lecrae if you ever hear this, bro, but you know what I'm saying, like, was the and again, I didn't knock it in the sense that, like, I understood the purpose for it. I just realized, you know, it wasn't for me, but it was just like, it's just because it was just too much for me personally speaking. But when he did the let the trap say amen. Now, when we had a discussion and you gave me, like, and you kind of broke it down from your perspective and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, that's true. I ain't gonna knock that. I just, like I said, it's just, for me personally speaking, it's not something that, and that was the first time that that's ever happened. Every album, every mixtape, everything that he's ever put out, I've been able to listen to back and forth all day long, period. Nothing to it. There was only one song that he did on a project I was like, kind of like, you know, don't know about this one, but I still thought it was like fun and, you know, to listen to, and that was the one that he did with E40 on Church Close.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that song.
But outside of that, I was still able to listen to that whole entire project back and forth. Back. This was the first one I was like, man, like, I understand the purpose, bro, but, you know, I don't know, I guess in a way, I guess it is. Don't get me wrong, it is. And it was something different for him, because he's never done that type of project before. Not full on. He's only done like a track or two, you know, per project after, I want to say it was after he released, he kind of got into that from Anomaly on. I'm trying to think, was it before Anomaly? No, I think it was just Anomaly on. Then that's when you kind of hear him get into that flow a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? That style of music to a degree. But then he came out with Let the Trap Say Amen. Again, the purpose is definitely positive and you know, reasonable or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I love the purpose for it. Like I said, it was just a personal thing. This now something I can always listen to, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's just, I gotta be in the mood for trap music like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise I can't do trap music. It just, cause it sounds too much like the same thing, you know, for me. But yeah, when you get into the specifics and the details of that, then it's like, oh, you know. So I think that was part of the reason why I was able to go back and listen to it before, after we had the conversation, because it's like, let me kind of listen to and kind of listen with that, you know, with those things at the forefront of my mind. So, but anyways, but
that's my highlight.
Lecrae is definitely dope. Lecrae is definitely,
y'all check him out.
Yeah, for real. Like, if y'all don't, man, seriously, I know a lot of religious people may not necessarily be into like Christian hip hop or whatever you want to call it, or, you know, just a Christian that raps, you know, but you have plenty of them out there, and Lecrae is one of them. He is a believer. He raps, and he raps about real life. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that's important for all believers to listen to, is, you know, listen to real life stuff. Like, we need that to balance us out between, like, it can't just be all Bible and, You know what I'm saying? Like nothing about what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll end up low-key probably touching on that a little bit later. Anyways, it's random opinion time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of stuck here because I only usually stick to one, but I'm gonna just say it like this. I have two. If you have never seen Slumdog Millionaire, you have been sheltered.
I have never
It is
seen
a
that
movie.
movie.
And I know. And I never saw it until yesterday. I don't even remember hearing it. No. But my wife had to put me onto that. I was like, and then the more she kind of kept breaking it down to me, I was like, I don't know. Because, her taste and my taste is really two different tastes. I don't know if I can count on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm into the Marvel. And don't get me wrong, I'm really pretty much into almost every type of movie there is. But it just has to be really good. That's all I really ask for. I'm not hard to please when it comes to movies or TV shows and stuff. As long as it's really good, I'm good. I don't really, I'm not like some people where it's like super particular and they're picky and all that stuff. I'm you know what I'm saying? I just need a good movie to watch or a good TV show to watch. And then, then we can talk, great from good, but the Slumdog Millionaire, if you've never seen that movie, you have been sheltered. I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you've been the last. I think she said it came out in 2008. I don't care. Whatever. Like, listen, I was sheltered, and then my wife brought me to the light. She took the roof off, and I'm so grateful that she did. Listen, Slumdog Millionaire. If you've never seen it, you've been sheltered. You need to go watch that ASAP. Don't watch nothing else before you watch Slumdog Millionaire. Now,
where'd you watch it at? Where'd you find it?
We watched it on HBO Max. Okay. I'm not sure if any other place has it. Maybe Hulu has it, or I don't really know. But all I know is my wife, we got HBO Max. She put me on to that, and I am forever grateful to my queen. Okay, now
I'm gonna look around.
I need to add this because this was the original opinion that I had, and then just having that experience made me add the Slumdog Millionaire to it. But listen, actually, so technically I have three. Actually, I just thought about it. I actually have three. I already had two before this one. Money Heist on Netflix is the greatest thing written about bank robberies ever.
And is Money Heist the movie with Eddie Murphy?
No, it's not. No. We're talking about the Netflix series.
That's Tower Heist. Money Heist. Okay, never seen it.
I'm telling you right now, it is better than any bank robbery movie, TV show, series, play, monologue. I don't care what it is. It could have been on the street. Money Heist is the best of all time.
I can't
debate
better.
Listen, it is better than Inside Man. Inside Man, and I'm not talking about the second one. I've never seen the second one, but
there's a sequel?
My dad, yeah, and it only came out not in the movies. So
is Denzel in the sequel?
No, and that's how you know. No offense to the people that acted in it, but it is not that great.
Okay, didn't know that.
It's definitely not better than Denzel. That's for sure.
Right,
but
Inside Man was amazing.
Inside Man was like phenomenal. But Money Heist is better.
Okay.
I'm telling you, the way they did this, and they're not done. Like, we're waiting on part 5 next year. I cannot wait.
Wait. You did say it's a series.
Yeah. So part 5, when I say part 5, they just basically, instead of saying season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, it's 4 parts right now. They're working on part 5. They actually originally filmed it in Spain or wherever, out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of flopped over there, but Netflix picked it up, brought it over here to America, and just put voiceovers on it. All you got to do, that to me is the only actual flaw to the series, is that the voiceovers, you know what I'm saying, they're not always lining up with the mouth. But once you get past that whole mouth sync issue,
mm-hmm.
whew, bro, And last but not least, How to Get Away with Murder has the absolute best cliffhangers ever.
Never seen.
What? What?
Never
You too
seen it.
same for me, bro. I don't know.
Same.
I thought, yeah, you
Do
too same, bro. You too same, bro. I don't
I
know.
don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you right now. What you mean you ain't never seen it? What?
Never seen it.
Has Aubrey seen it?
No. We've never seen that show.
Why?
We've thought about it. I looked at the clip. I think I even started one episode. Just never seen it.
Why?
I don't think I have anything against it. I just I wasn't super interested.
I'm telling you right now, you need to go watch that.
All right. I'm gonna go check it out.
Those cliffhangers. We can't even have no actual debate right now or anything.
No, I've never seen
this is terrible. I'm thinking like, okay, Money Heist, we probably not gonna have no debate on that. But I was sure about How to Get Away with Murder. Or at least you'd be able to agree with me. You can't even do that. What is this?
I've heard good things about it. That's all I can say.
To our listening audience, I sincerely apologize for the lack of fighting or debating that you guys are so often very much used to. I apologize. I probably should have mentioned all this before to Dre in our conversations and everything in preparation for the episode. So I sincerely apologize. I will make sure that we do better next week and moving forward. Well, I mean, it's not going to be that bad because, we have guests coming on the next few weeks. And, yeah, actually, we have some guests coming on, for the next few weeks at least. So, yeah, we'll be able to do better with those. But, as far as when me and Dre is just on the show, I'll make sure that we do better because this is not good. This is not good. I will say this. If there's anybody out there who wants to disagree with me on Slumdog Millionaire, Money Heist, and or How to Get Away with Murder, we can have that debate anytime.
I will say this, a show that had great cliffhangers. Well, actually, I think this is probably the best overall show that I've seen on Netflix or Hulu.
And whether I've seen it or not, I
guarantee
you it's not better than How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay, see, I'm ready to debate that with you without even seeing How to Get Away with Murder.
No, I'm not talking about the show. I'm saying the cliffhangers aren't better. I guarantee you.
Oh. But mine is
I'm telling you.
Breaking Bad. I've never been more into a show than Breaking Bad.
I do need to go on that binge, though.
And after every episode, I couldn't even sleep. It was hard for me to sleep. The show is so good. It's ridiculous.
I did hear a lot about Breaking Bad.
You've never seen Breaking Bad,
but here was my reason why. Because I actually intended on getting into it, but because I missed so many episodes and stuff, I was like, and I'm not one to ever just jump into a series just like halfway or anything like that. Like once I've missed, I don't necessarily have a particular count on how many episodes I missed. It's just once I've kind of missed what I feel is maybe like just too much or whatever, then
I mean, it's finished. It's finished now, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. I got to go on that bench. No, but I'm saying like at the time.
But that's how I felt about How to Get Away with Murder too. How many seasons is that so far?
6. They're done.
6 seasons. Oh, they're done though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's worth every bit of your time, especially the last season. I felt like the last season it was like we gonna remind y'all of why y'all got hooked into this in the first place. Because every episode was like the first season. And it was like, wait, what?
Okay.
And actually, I would even venture to say that the cliffhangers in the episodes that was probably the best season. I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look and then figure out which one was the best season, though. But off the top of my head, I would say the last season was the best season. Yeah, that's another debate to have. That's another thing to think about. We ain't gonna have that right now though, because you can't even talk about it.
No, I can't talk about it.
All right, man. So look, man, let's get into this episode, bro. An announcement, by the way, we are almost at June 15th. There's practically 2 weeks left until June 15th. And what is June 15th? June 15th is the last day that you can hit up Arroyo Win Publications for 60% off website designs.
60%. Y'all better hop on that.
I'm telling you. Like, and I sincerely apologize to anyone that may have felt that we did not promote it the best and things like that. I'll admit that we have not, and I sincerely apologize. But listen, y'all need to go get that. Go hit her up. All you got to do is hit her up at Miss Win _ on Instagram. That is MISSWINN _ and hit her up in her DM on Instagram. Hit her up with the code word, flip the switch, and she's gonna take care of y'all from there.
For sure.
60% off is that's a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
Especially for website designs. Like, website designs is definitely kind of costly-ish. Depending on who you have. But she's good. She's solid.
She's good.
She make it smooth like butter.
Yeah. You gotta get in on that.
Yeah. So anyways, my bad, y'all. I just realized I'm gonna have that same issue. We can get to talking. We can get to that we go with it freezing up.
It just froze. It literally was freezing as you were saying that. What are you parked in the sun?
Yeah, I forgot that I was facing the sun, and this is not the best. I sincerely apologize. It literally just hit me just now. Like, yo, you are not in the right position for this. I sincerely apologize. Y'all can for this.
Your phone was gonna get hot
right now, so we don't have this issue getting into this episode or really being in that episode. All right, I'm good now. We can really. I'm just parking. I got skills. All right. All is well in the world.
Now, for sure, let's get to it, man.
Yeah. So, you want to go first, or you want me to go first? How you want to go? Well, I think I should go first because I feel like your questions are just flat, just deep. Like, you want to go all the way straight to the deep end. I'm trying to swim our way there.
Yeah. Let's swim.
So listen, let me just ask this question first. Just in general, bro, what is fatherhood like for you?
I think it's a blessing, man. I enjoy fatherhood. Like, when I come home from work, I feel like I'm the king of my castle. You know, I think that, like, early on, you know, I've had some doubts about, like, how great of a father I could be. But later on, one time I was having a conversation with somebody, and, you know, people always say, like, you know, one thing about kids, there's such a financial burden. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have kids because of money and stuff like that. And I've always told them, look, after kids, I've made more than I ever made in my life because it forced me to grind. You know what I mean? So they haven't, even though they're a financial burden, it made me grow in how I look at money and how I want more. You know what I mean? So I give them that. So yeah, man, it's been a blessing. It's made me grow as a man, and, you know, I can see the reflection of myself and my kids often. So I'm with it. I love it. I recommend it.
I feel it. I pretty much feel the same way. I will say, and as we kind of get more into the episode, I'll dive deeper into some details or whatever. But, and just to keep it surface for right now, you know, and keep it in 3 feet. I don't feel like they are a financial burden, but I do feel like if you're unprepared financially to do things for yourself and then just welcome any help that comes along, then yeah, it is going to feel like they are a financial burden. but they are not the financial burden. It's just that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta get your money right. You know what I'm saying? Because they cost, it costs to make sure that they're good, that they're safe, that they eat, that they're clothed, all that stuff, that they got the diapers and the wipes. And that is the bulk of your money right there. It's the diapers and the wipes. Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But I love fatherhood. Like, I keep saying it. That parenthood is the best hood, and I will always feel like that. So I feel like that because I feel like fatherhood is literally the best hood. No offense to mothers and motherhood. No slight to that at all. Just I love. It's nothing like being a father on this planet. And I'm sure mothers, especially good mothers, great mothers, they feel the same way about motherhood. So you know what I'm saying. But just I can't speak from the perspective of motherhood. I can only speak from the perspective of fatherhood. And fatherhood is like legitimately like the best hood there is to rep ever. Like there's no greater feeling than fatherhood. Like it is. Yeah, I just feel like I feel that thing. Like when I come home, you know what I'm saying, and my daughter is looking at me and just smiling and just like trying to get to me, and she's going on 6 months, and it's like, yo, like the way she just smiles at me though, like literally, I just walked out the house for like maybe like 5 minutes yesterday, 5 to 10 minutes yesterday. Came right back. She had just seen me, but it was like, yo, like I ain't seen you all day, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's nothing like seeing your kids coming to you smile. When my boys started walking and they were able to like, start really walking to me and stuff, man, I remember my oldest, when he first started to walk and I would come home from work, it was nothing like my son walking to me. And then they got to the point, I have a certain way that I knock at my door. If I ever need to knock on my door, sometimes I forget my keys. Y'all pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll knock on the door a certain way, and they know it's daddy. And
Right.
him and his brother, they get to come into that door. They know it's daddy. They get to jumping up and down and doing all that stuff. I open the door. I can't even get in the door without them being right there. I mean, now I can because now I can because they be doing their own thing now. But you know what I'm saying? But even still, like they love seeing me come through the door. They love, seeing me. It's a beautiful thing, bro. Like,
if my daughter has some kind of electronic device when I come home, she act like I don't exist.
Oh yeah,
like, what's up?
Oh, don't let me go to grandma's house. Don't let me go to grandma's house. It's a wrap. Like, it's funny because my youngest son, he'll kind of be looking like, where y'all going? So we got to kind of sneak out if we want to go somewhere. But outside of that, they act like when we not there, they don't even remember that we there. They be there with their aunties and their grandma and their uncle and everything and their granddad, and it just, you know what I'm saying. But it's funny because I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to kind of like be able to entrust our kids to other family members and stuff like that. But yeah, I love fatherhood, man. Fatherhood is in a nutshell. Fatherhood is great for me. It is absolutely great for me. So
I'm with you on that. You want to do another one? Cause
I want to say, yeah. Yeah, we could do this one before you get into one of yours. Like I said, you trying to swim at 8 feet. Yeah, you trying to swim in the deep end. Not like you ain't even trying to like baby swim or nothing. You just take all the gear off and everything. Just go swim.
That's how you learn.
You are one of those parents. You are one of those uncles that will just toss my kid.
Just throw the kid in the water, and they will learn.
Oh man!
I've always agreed with that concept.
So look, man. Let's get into this. Did you feel prepared to be a father when you got the news that and yeah, this is gonna kind of go hand in hand with another question I asked. So then I'll leave my last question as like the last question of the episode, so you can kind of get to yours. But okay. So I'm gonna run it like this because it's kind of all grouped together when I look at it. So did you feel prepared, you know what I'm saying, when you first found out your wife was pregnant with the first baby? And then how did you deal with the news that you were going to have a baby? And then we can go into the details of both pregnancies, and I'll get into mine too.
Okay, so I have two crazy stories behind both of my kids. My daughter, at first, God was kind of preparing me to have a kid.
Interesting.
I started, I think one day I was studying and I started reading the book of Haggai, and saw is it the book of Haggai or the story of Haggai? Not really sure which one it is. So she was having this trouble about having a kid, and she kept praying to God. She was in despair and stuff like that, and God finally gave her a kid. The mother of Samuel, whoever the mother of Samuel, I believe it's that guy. So that story, as I was studying that story and I went to go teach it, you thinking right now, is it?
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember his mom's name for some reason. But it might have been. So, I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say yes. I'm going to sit here, and we're going to kind of just gloss over it like it never happened.
Hey, so whatever was, I studied that one. I was studying Abraham, and, God started revealing to me through the scriptures as I was studying, like, okay, like some promises that I got for you are going to happen once you have kids. And this was when I was probably like a year and a half into the marriage. So I went to go talk to my wife, real talk. I went to go talk to her, and I said, look, God is starting to tell me like some stuff is going to start happening once we start having kids. Now, I'm not saying let's just plan to have them, but let's stop preventing to have them. She agreed. She agreed. She actually agreed with me.
So she didn't act like Sarai.
No, she agreed with me. She was like, okay, you know what I mean? If that's true, let's roll with it. So then what happened was,
did she at least laugh?
It
just came to mind, bro. That's funny, bro.
So then we went to go see her granddad was a bishop. I had never met the guy before. He's from the South. He came to California to come visit. And he wanted to see us. Now he's a bishop, but he's also a self-proclaimed prophet. And he was having a night of prophecy. You know what I mean? He was doing.
We gotta have that conversation, right?
Oh yeah, we should.
We gotta have that conversation.
So I had a whole lot of feelings towards somebody who would call themselves a prophet. So when we went there that night, this is my first time meeting the guy too. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm prophesying tonight. Come through. I'm like, all right. We went there, and at first he's telling people, about the house they gonna get and the job they gonna get. I'm in there like, I'm like, bro, hey man, like, why did I come here tonight? Why did you drag me to this? You know what I mean? And then he tells me and my wife to stand up. He's like, all right, he started talking, and I promise you, when he started talking, he sounded exactly the way God sounds when he talks to me when I pray. Like
that's low-key scary.
The tone of his voice, the words he was using, he wasn't even saying good things. He was all like, yeah, times is about to get hard for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to carry these burdens. And I was like, why I'm not getting new houses and new cars and stuff? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, I was tripping when he first started. And then, of course, he started to say some good things in the middle of it. And then right in the middle of it, he says, and the Lord told me, Albany, that he's about to open your womb and you about to be pregnant. Ooh. And I was like, where is that coming from? You know what I mean? So we went back home. She got a call from her other granddad the next day, and he was like, hey, are you pregnant yet? She just asked her out the blue. Like, she was like, why'd you ask me that? He was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know you've been married for a little while. I just kind of wanted to know. We still kind of dismissed it. I was like, all right, go ahead, get some pregnancy tests. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's happening. And she was not. Came out, you know what I'm saying, a month later, found out she was pregnant. But when the doctors went to the timeline, she actually was pregnant during the prophecy. During that night,
What?
she was already pregnant. So crazy story, man. But that's literally, how my daughter came to us. So I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised. It was like the journey to it wasn't surprised. But when I heard the news, I was like, oh snap! Like it's real. It made me trust God a little bit more. The story about my son, not as long. Literally, she started feeling some type of way. Went to go. Then we had a church member. Same thing. She just said, Arbany, and bro, I'm not lying to you. This girl, she is a prophetess because she has predicted at least 3 or 4 pregnancies within people inside the young adult group inside of my church. It's crazy. Yeah. And so she just told Arbany, she was like, yo, I think you're pregnant. She's like, I had a dream. I think you're pregnant. I was like, all right, let's go get some pregnancy test. Last time we was told this, it was right. And Tess said no. Turned back around. She started feeling some type of way. Tried it again. Ended up being pregnant once again. Same thing. Tracked the timeline. She was already pregnant that night. The test just said no. So that one though, because I heard it from her and not from God. I was upset. I was like, Lord, why you didn't tell me? You didn't tell me nothing. Like, what is?
Oh,
why are we
man.
pregnant again? That one I wasn't like in full Holy Spirit mode about. I wasn't like trying. I wasn't trying for that one. I was like, oh no, I ain't want that. So yeah, that's so I think the only other thing I can say about the story is when I found out that my first child was a girl, that scared the mess out of me, bro. Like real talk. Oh man. Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't because I was scared like that I wouldn't be a good dad to her. I knew I would be really protective, but I had this underlying feeling that, and I wrote a song about it too, and I had this underlying feeling that she would one day start dating who I was in the past. That's my biggest fear. It's one of my biggest fears, is having to face me as a young man dating my daughter.
Bro.
I'm afraid of that.
Bro.
So, yeah, man, I don't know how I'm gonna handle that situation, but yeah, that happened.
Okay,
so, yeah,
interesting. That was definitely laughs for sure. Like, but that was a good. Those are some good stories, bro. And I'm glad you brought that out so people could better understand, like, you know what I'm saying, like your feelings and stuff for each pregnancy. Because I think the thing is too, like, I think there are probably people who have never had more than one child or don't have children at all. They might think, I don't know for sure, I've never heard nobody say so, but they could, think or believe that, all pregnancies are the same. They are not. I have 3 of them, and I am telling you, all 3 pregnancies for my wife were far from the same. They were all distinctively different, for sure. I don't even think there were any similarities between the 3. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you brought that out so that people can understand, like, okay, he had 2 different, feelings, you know what I'm saying? Not bad, just, just different, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, did you feel prepared? Did you feel prepared for both of them? Or at least for the first one, since God kind of did tell you he was gonna have.
Yeah, I think I was mentally prepared for the first one. I was mentally prepared for the first one. Second one, no.
Okay.
I'm not gonna front with you. I was very indifferent about that second child. I was like, I was not happy.
Oh man, it's funny. Dang. See, we got. We're gonna kind of get into the deep stuff because that I think that's a good. Yeah, I don't want us to miss. We need to do a bonus episode, like a part 2, just in between episodes, because this is like, bro, you kind of bring up some stuff that I'm like, yo, like this is the whole point of the podcast, is to get into some stuff like this that other people are definitely dealing with, and they don't know who to talk to about it. They don't know how to have these conversations with people, especially men. So they internalize everything, and then that's it. We live in our heads. I'm a truthful person about that. I have it on the bonus episode that has not been quite released just yet. It'll be released before this episode is released. But I said I live in my head. I just started to break out of that habit of living in my head. So let me ask this. We just gonna do a extra part to this, with me and you and release it in between episodes.
Okay.
You said that you were feeling indifferent about the second the second pregnancy. Like, I guess what I want to ask you, what made you feel indifferent about that, and then like, how did you navigate those feelings?
Well, I mean, I think, all right, so man, I got crazy stories about my kids. So I felt indifferent at first, but crazy thing was me and my wife both felt indifferent. We both was like, we didn't see this coming. Can we really handle this? My daughter was only 1.5, so she wasn't even all the way 2 yet. So it's like, how are we supposed to, navigate through? Was already starting to experience like some financial hardships, mainly finances though. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought about, and the fact that I guess I got spoiled from the first pregnancy, and I was like, God, you supposed to like tell me way ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like I thought we had that type of relationship. I thought it was gonna be like that every time, and it wasn't. So I think throughout the pregnancy, like throughout the pregnancy itself, it was the hardest one, because even the way my wife felt, she felt physically different the second time from the first time. She felt worse. She was way less comfortable, way more snappy. And that was harder. So it was almost like my lifestyle during that time was almost like I went to go take care of her, and after I make sure she's straight, I'm by myself. We had really no middle time between that. I went to go take care of her. As I took care of her, I'm not in the room. I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? So because I had a whole lot to process. You know what I mean? That's when I first started trying to step into entrepreneurship and stuff like that, because I knew things had to change. So I think I dealt with it. By trying to figure out what I really wanted out of life at that time. It kind of forced vision out of me. It kind of forced me to kind of look and see, okay, what do I really want out of life? What do I really want for my future? Like that. But it took me like to get away from my wife. Like I had to, I wanted to go make sure she was straight. And then
interesting.
I was out, The crazy story behind it is that we were planning and things started to change after this. So we were planning a gender reveal party. You came, didn't it? Did you come? No, I don't think you came. I think you was already the same birthday,
Yeah, and once I moved out here, it was hard for me to make it to almost anything because of the type of job that I had too. You know what I mean? Like I was working over the weekends, and it was just it was a sheesh. So yeah, I want to say no, I did not make it. Yeah, I didn't, because matter of fact, Mike Smith and Ronnie was there, and that's where Ronnie took Mike the cover. That's where they got the cover art for his album.
Yes, for his album. Yep.
I didn't make
the same day. Yeah. So I was up late one night. I was up late one night praying. My wife was in the bed asleep. I was praying. And I was just praying, over her stomach, over her baby, just making sure things was all right. And because we were planning a gender reveal, I did not know what the gender was. And, I was like, God, I do want a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a girl already. I want a boy. And this is getting kind of close to the party. And then God spoke to me and he said, you're going to have a boy and I want you to name him David. He also told me that we and him were going to clash when he got older. I don't know what that's going to look like or what is going to happen. But he told me that. So I was tripping at first. I was like, God, is this really you? You know what I mean? Like, what can we do? And so I asked him, I said, if this is really you, I need to see a sign. I was like, and what I want you to do, I got specific about it. I was like, make the baby kick my wife in her stomach so hard that she wakes up out of her sleep. Make the kick so hard that she wakes up out of her sleep. And I probably laid there for about maybe 10 minutes. And 10 minutes after you say something like that is a long time. So I was just laying there like, okay, maybe I was just tripping. And out of nowhere, she just, ah, what was that? She just pops up. Like, really, it was crazy. And so I was like, oh, shoot, dang, it's real. You know, so I had to tell her. I was kind of skating around the issue of, like, telling her, but I still ended up telling her that night, like, hey, it's a boy and we got to name him David. You know what I mean? And she was like, what? I don't want to name him David. Like, that's such a boring name. I was like, man, God told me to do it. We got to name him David. And she actually tried to skate around it. She was like, his middle name is Marcel, because my dad's middle name is Marcel. She was like, we'll name his first name Marcel and his middle name David. And then she actually had a talk with her mom. After that, her mom was like, if God told him to name him David, you better name him David. So then.
Right. Like,
David. So it was crazy because, like I said, it was a gender reveal. So we never went to the hospital to go see the sex. So I'm sitting there the whole time. When the party actually came, I'm like, okay, if things ain't blue, you know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to feel? I was like, but if it is blue, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That God really told me I was going to have a boy. And sure enough, stuff was blue after we popped the balloons and everything. It was a boy. I had already told some of my friends there that, you know, I had the conversation with God, and it was like, oh, well, it's going to be a boy then, you know. Came out to be a boy. I ended up having to talk with Mike, and I talked with Mike Smith. I'm glad you had brought that up. And he was telling me, you know, when God tells you to name your baby something, it's usually after a pattern of somebody that he's named that. You know, he's like, and, right. You know, David, he's the standard of a king. Every time you had another king in the Bible, God will always go following the ways of the way David did. You know what I mean? If you follow in these ways and these statutes the way David did.
I never realized that.
Yeah, he was pretty much the standard of what a king was supposed to be. He was like, so if you didn't name him David, he wouldn't have had the same path. And I was like, oh, dang. You know, it's like, you're glad I did so. But yeah, crazy. So after that, I was cool. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, pregnancy was cool then, because I'm like, God, you talk to you. I think that's what I would kind of wait on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a conversation with God about it, we cool. And he was silent at first. He wasn't saying nothing. But after he talked to me, pregnancy became easier. You know what I'm saying? Easier to deal with, because I was excited now, you know?
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and answer. I'll be honest. I did not feel prepared to be a father when on all
first child either.
First child especially, but I was excited. Like that, and I'm gonna go one by one. So the first child, my wife was pregnant, and I was excited. Like, what? Like, because it was always a dream of mine to have. You know what I mean? And it became more of a desire, a stronger desire, when my godson was born. I was in the waiting room with his godmother and another friend of my cousin's wife, and we were all in the waiting room. They passed by with him in the incubator, you know what I'm saying, to take him and everything and transfer him and all that. And so I see him, and I was like, man, like, I was in such awe and amazement, and it just made me want my own son. Like, I was like, I want a girl too, but I really want a boy first. And
yeah,
so,
I wanted a boy first too.
Me and my wife, we weren't even dating at the time yet. Like, we were still, this was about 2 years prior to that. And, or a year prior to me and her dating. And I was like, man, I really want my own son. Like, you know, and so, you know, finally had, the first birth, and, you know, we found out it was a boy on the way, you know, to her, you know, let me not say on the way, because then that makes it seem like we didn't know until, like, she gave birth. But, you know what I'm saying, just in the process of the pregnancy, you know, we decided to opt in to know the sex of the baby. And we did all our kids like that. We did all our kids like that actually, I'm sorry. We did the first two like that. The third one, which was my daughter, we said we would just get the sex of the baby, but we would wait and have a gender reveal. And we had the gender reveal. But the first baby, you know, my oldest son, you know, I was stupid excited about, you know what I mean? But there was a part of me that was just scared because I didn't feel like, you know, I was ready to be a father, you know what I'm saying? On any level. I just like, yo, like, you know, it just financially, especially, was the
Yeah.
hardest thing for me to really, and then another thing is like when you're leading, especially as a leader, you know what I mean, of a household, if nothing else, if you're a leader of a household, especially as a man, you're supposed to have vision. Or you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You should have vision. You should be able to tell your wife, you should be able to tell your children where you are going in life. And, you know, and then you're supposed to be able to help your children learn how to have vision, cast vision, write it down, make a plan, et cetera, et cetera. So even though I was to a degree doing well in that area in a way, I did not, I wasn't fully into that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like when it came about that I was getting ready to have a child, I was just like, yo, like, what am I doing? Me and my wife, we weren't married yet. So it was just a lot going on for me where it was like, like, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was living so far in my head. Like it was, I internalized everything. I never told my wife anything about how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So it just, at that time, I didn't even realize or understand I was living in my head. Matter of fact, I didn't understand that until last week. Like just a couple of days before, because there's this thing that this guy, I don't remember the guy's name that's behind it, but there's this thing called Men on Fire. And I watched this video to kind of see, you know, like what it was kind of about and whatnot. And the guy gives you different things to help you to become better for your marriage and everything. And so one of the things that he breaks down is that, you know what I mean, is that you're living in your head. And I was like, whoa. And then he broke down what that looks like and stuff. And basically he was talking about basically that you internalize everything. And it's like, oh, shoot. And then that's when I realized, I've been living in my head all these years. Ever since I was molested, bro, I just really started living in my head. And I didn't realize that until I watched that video. So I was doing the same thing as a father, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't feel prepared, bro. And not understanding that it's very much important to talk about how you feel, especially with your spouse. We got married that same year. But you know what I mean? Like we, you know, it was that, you know, I was caught up in my own virtual reality, if you will. So I didn't feel prepared at all. But I was excited though, because I just knew like, yo, I'm about to have a son. Especially when I found out it was a boy. I didn't know for sure. Like, to be honest, I really didn't know for sure before we found out the sex of my first baby, that it was gonna be a boy or girl. I just really hoped it was a boy. Like I really, because again, like I said, I had the case, so to speak, of wanting to have a boy from me seeing my godson passing by in the incubator. So I was excited when I found out we were having a boy. I wanted to jump up and down for joy in that room. You know what I'm saying? We was in there. I was in there with my wife. And when they told us it was a boy, I was like, whew, like I could have ran around circles, victory laps and all that, bro. Like I was so excited. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to cry, I wanted to laugh, I wanted to do it all. I didn't cry at the time. And for anybody that knows that I'm a crybaby, you know, like, okay, he didn't cry. That's a good thing. So, you know what I'm saying? But second baby, I had an indifferent thing, you know what I'm saying, where it wasn't so much that I didn't want him. It was just that it was so much going on. And again, I was still living in my head. It was so much going on. And especially financially, because I started to realize and see how much it really kind of takes to have a baby. Not too long before we realized that my wife was pregnant, we had just moved, you know, out here to San Bernardino. So it was just like, and the other thing too, and this is kind of selfish of me, but I was like, man, we already got a baby. I just kind of wanted to have time before we had another baby, you know, raise this one up. We still could get time to date and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And it just like, you know, It wasn't planned. You know what I'm saying?
Way.
And yeah, and it was just like, yo, like, man, like, you know, I was feeling that indifference because, like I said, even at the time, I still didn't have that great of a paying job, things like that. It just, you know, and you know, and anybody that else that have had kids and they take care of their kids, they know, like, financially speaking, it's a lot. Just for one kid. Just for one, it's a lot. Imagine having two. And my oldest, when we found out my wife was pregnant, he was around, let me see. That's 1 November. So he was around 6 months when we found out that she was pregnant.
Only 6 months?
So he was 1 when his brother was born. And it was, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I had to push through. I still hadn't realized I was living in my head yet. You know what I'm saying? But just, I had to push through. I had to make things happen. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, what do I do with this? I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing with the first one still. You know what I'm saying? Like, because after you actually get into fatherhood, even if you think you're prepared for it, when you get into it, and your baby is physically here, you realize you don't know as much as you think you know. No matter how many child development classes you've taken, no matter how many kids you've babysat, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, like, it is nothing like having your own. Sure, you might know how to change a diaper and maybe even feed a baby and stuff like that, but as far as raising the child, as far as parenting your child, there's nothing like that. You're not prepared for that until you get there. It's just trial and error, like, the whole way through. Like, that's probably the only thing on earth outside of marriage that is just flat out just trial and error as long as you live. Yeah. You know
I feel like there's no amount of time that you can talk about it to ever be fully prepared. No way.
Yeah. And
not until you get in it.
Now, I did tell my wife before baby number 2, before we found out what the sex was. I was hoping it was a girl because I already had a boy. So I actually wanted a girl second baby. But I told my wife, I said, and at first I was saying, no, it's a girl. I don't care what y'all say, it's a girl. But for some reason, I just felt on the inside pretty strong, like, don't say that. Like, you don't know. It could be a girl. So I was like, I finally gave in. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just be grateful whether it's a boy or a girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I did tell my wife one thing for sure. I said that if this second baby is a boy, then it will go the same way that it went with my parents, which was boy, boy, girl.
Really?
And yes, I did tell her that much. Now, I don't want to say that I didn't hear from God, but I don't want to say that I did. Like, I didn't go and pray and be intentional and ask God, you know what I'm saying, or have the whole conversation with God about it. But I do feel like he, like, put it in my spirit, or he made sure that, like, I could kind of tell, like, yeah, this is this or this is that. So, so I said, okay, if this one is a boy, then whenever we have a third child, it will be a girl. And bro, when she got pregnant with the third baby, I proclaimed, no matter what people said, I said, listen, this one's a girl.
This is a girl.
Flat out. Now, this is how strong I was about that. We had the gender reveal. Remember earlier I said we had the gender reveal for the third one. My sister-in-law, she was so good. Shout out to Ashley for this one. She was so good in setting up how it was revealed. There's this game that's done at, like, baby showers, birthdays, stuff like that. They pass around the gift and they do a story with it or whatever, and you kind of keep passing the gifts back and forth, back around, back around. So in this particular case, these weren't actual gifts. These were, well, I don't remember. They might have been, but there was something that, as far as I know, no, they weren't gifts. They were clues. They were just kind of wrapped in, like, boxes and stuff like that. So they were all clues, though, to the gender of the baby. So we get to this last one, right? We get to this last box or whatever, and I'm like, this is the last one, but it's in blue. What the heck is going on? Like, I know it's a girl. So right when we're, like, opening up what we think is the last thing,
she played.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. So we opened up the last box. I think it was a pink. It was a pink one. So I was like, okay, yeah. And so we opened it up, and it was another clue. I was like, wait, what? Like, and then we looking around like, where's the, and she's acting like, oh, wait, where's that? And then, so she acting like she don't know. And it's like, come to find out, quote unquote, there was 2 more in the back somewhere. So she goes, gets the other 2, and it's a blue and a pink box or whatever, pink, blue and pink wrapper, whatever. And we open up the blue one, and the way that the clue sounds, it makes it seem like you found the gender the gender of the baby. So in that moment, I was hot. Like, 'cause I was like, there's no way it's a boy. Like, on the inside, I'm like, man, like, no, this is not true. It is a girl. I know it's a girl. I don't care. Like, this is crazy. And then it was just a clue to kind of trick you, to make you think it was a boy, and it was a girl. And I was so excited. And you know what I'm saying? I just broke it down.
I remember seeing a clip of the video.
Yeah, but I didn't express. Yeah, I was hyped, but I wasn't like, I didn't really show. I almost did let people know like I was mad, but then like, you know, I just kept it in. I was like, all right, wait, let me keep it together, and just be grateful that it's, you know, it's a baby and it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? But just as quick as that happened, you know what I'm saying, we was able to find out it was a girl. And so, you know what I'm saying? But I knew that was a girl. Again, I wasn't really prepared for any of them. Truth be told, I really wasn't. It was just, it was so much going on. And truth be told, looking at hindsight, it was so much going on with me. It just, you know, everything in life for me really, you know, just made me feel like I'm not ready to be a father again. So how did I navigate that though? Even though I was excited, and stuff, and you know, even with baby number 2, I got to a point of like looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he got here. Oh man, now, especially if it's time alone with just my son Lennox, bro. It's and me and my wife, I just had this conversation with her the other day. I said like, it's nothing like when, you know, just being with him, just you and him by yourselves. It is great. I mean, and it's like that with all 3 kids. Just, you know what I'm saying, Lennox, he like to cut up a lot. So, but when he's by himself, bro, oh man, it's like the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is so dope. Cause the way he talks pretty good right now and stuff. So, you know, and there's things that he's into, like Blippy and certain types of songs that he likes. And it's just different things that he, you know, that he can kind of express to you, and you know, like what it is. And it's just so dope to have that time alone with him. It's like, yo, like, it makes you appreciate all the quality time.
Blippy, so, like me and my daughter, a lot of times at night before she goes to sleep, I'll like sit her in my lap and we watch Blippy together. And I'm like, we're both pointing out stuff. Oh, yeah, it's a race car. Oh, yeah, it's this. She looking back at me like, yeah, it is. You know, like, that's dope. I love that feeling. That's amazing.
Yeah, bro. So, yeah, man, it's, but basically, you know what I'm saying? I just, to be honest, I don't feel like I really truly navigated the feelings that I had for any of them. Because again, I was living in my head. So that's the way I did it, so to speak. Not the best thing to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Whether how you feel is good or not good, or however you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good to live in your head with any of it. That's toxic. Yeah. That can really affect your marriage if you're married to the person, or you know, whatever. So
yeah, I didn't fake it. I told my wife straight up. She was like, "How you feel?" And I was like, She was like, "I feel the same way."
Yeah, it was tough, but I will say this, man. Like, I was, if no other period in time, I was excited when they were actually born.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Those times. Now, I will say with Lennox, which is my middle baby, for those that have not figured it out yet, it was only difficult to be excited because there was complications.
Yeah.
And he ended up in the NICU. And there's a lot of people that know, but he ended up in the NICU. And that was one of the hardest times in my life. Like, literally, that's probably the hardest time in my life so far.
I remember praying for you.
Yeah, bro.
I remember talking about it, and I remember praying for you.
That trumps being molested. Because the thing is, when as a parent, when you feel powerless, when you feel like you can't do anything to help your child, it is. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like, dead serious. Like, I don't care who. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing like. I don't think there's no greater sense of sorrow or, you know, sadness than feeling like you can't do anything to help your baby, and all you can just go do is just go see them where they are, and that's it. Like and it was hard. Like in all honesty, bro, like there was I spent more time at home with my oldest son, you know what I'm saying, than I did going to the hospital. And you know what I'm saying, like it was just because I don't do well with seeing people I love in hospitals and in a state that I can't help them in. Like having to see your son hooked up to machines and have all these things hooked up to him, it just, you know what I'm saying, like that's something I have to deal with. But you know what I'm saying, it's hard for me to do that. So let's get one more question in real quick. We definitely gonna do.
We have to do a bonus episode. Yeah,
we have to.
We have to. We have to.
Well, no, you asked one of your questions, bro. We went through.
You just disappeared. Oh,
my bad. I literally keep forgetting I have that 9 o'clock alarm on my phone. It's every Tuesday. We're supposed to be. Yeah, there's something I'm supposed to be doing at 9 o'clock. So.
Dang, which one do I want to ask? Okay, I'll ask this one. How has being a parent affected your marriage?
Oof. I want to say in the long
y'all
run,
entered into parenthood before marriage, right? Or was she hadn't had the baby yet?
She hadn't had the baby yet.
Okay,
she was pregnant when we got married, but she wasn't. But
because I always feel like that dynamic is a little bit different because we were married for like a year and a half before my wife got pregnant.
I would, like me personally, if I could rearrange the time, I don't regret my kids. I just wish I could rearrange the order of everything. Like if I could like take it out and say, okay, I'm gonna keep the same kids because there's I don't know how to live life. Now I don't know how to live life. It's hard to imagine life without them. Particular kids. Like my oldest son is the dopest. My kids are the greatest. I just, you know what I'm saying. So I wouldn't take them out the picture. It's just I would rearrange the time, the order of things. You know what I'm saying? Just because that dynamic is a lot different when you enter into marriage and then shortly after you have your baby. Like you have no I'll put it like this. Marriage is a whole job,
in and of itself.
And then so you kind of learn how to be a husband and a wife already. Then you have to start almost right away. It's almost like starting 2 different courses at one time in a school or something like that. And you have to learn both of these languages. Like, let's say you're taking courses on foreign languages, because you got to learn love language for your spouse. Then you got to learn the language of being a parent to a child. You're just like, yo, I'm trying to balance. And none of this stuff is making sense to me. I'm just trying to. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's difficult. But I will say that I will say in the long run, ultimately, I feel like it has helped me. I think it's such I want to say that it's helped me in the long run, because, you know, finally it's like, yo, like either you're going to keep living in your head or you got to live out, you know, get out your head and do everything that you can to make everything work for the betterment of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my kids to see marriage and view marriage as a healthy thing, as one of the greatest things God has ever gifted us to be part of. You know what I'm saying? And so that means I have to do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying, do my part in making sure that marriage looks as great as it possibly can, or look the way that God intended for it to look like. So I would just say it's given me the motivation to work through any issues, have all the fun times like I have with my wife, to make sure that it is what it's supposed to be, that make sure that my marriage looks like the design that God originally intended for it to look like. So
I think for me, the first child, my daughter Zanaya, me and my wife got closer because I was, prepared for prepared mentally. I was excited about it. I felt like she was always glowing. I'm always kissing her stomach. I'm like, yeah, I was into the first one. The second one, it was rough. Like, marriage was rough during the second one. We didn't really argue like that, but we did not talk as much. Because like I said, I was around there to make sure she was straight, and then I was alone after that, I remember this too, and now this is a little more intimate. After pregnancy was over, and you got about 6 weeks, what I'm saying, for the healing to happen and everything like that. So you go ahead and get back intimate. And I remember after it was over, she was going through her healing process and everything. And when we got the word that it was time that we could go back and get back in the bedroom, it was not happening. Now, I remember her coming to me, telling me, and she was like, yo, we can now. She was like, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. She was like, there's no feelings right down there in the parts, no feelings. And I'm like, bro, and I'm like, yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way. It took a while, and then finally we had a conversation just about feelings, about how we felt during the whole pregnancy and all that. And that unlocked the key, and finally we made it back to the bedroom. But that's how rough the pregnancy was on us. That it took a while after the baby was born. But I would say, you about to comment on that real quick before?
Yeah, I'll just go make a little side.
Go ahead.
Have you listened to that podcast episode on the Love Hour with Eddie Minio?
No, I have not heard that one.
Oh man, I can't even make my comment there, bro. I was gonna make it, but you got to know what I'm talking about in order to you know what I'm saying. So
okay,
I just gotta put a pin in it. Hey, just make sure you go listen to
that.
When you hear it, you might catch it. You might laugh at it when you realize
I'm gonna have to
the
listen
connection
to it before the bonus episode.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. So yeah, but I think after we became back intimate, to be honest, I think that was the missing piece that picked the marriage back up. You know what I mean? So after that happened, then we were able to start dreaming again. You know what I'm saying? We were able to get back to having our normal conversations. Our friendship was back intact. We were able to go back to writing down goals and stuff like that, back to the way that we were with before him. So yeah, it took a while. It took a while, but yeah, so it actually elevated the marriage after he was born.
Nice. Well, listen, we are going to do a bonus episode, and depending on how that bonus episode go, we will probably do another bonus episode just in between our regular episodes. Because I almost didn't even get through 2 of my questions. So
yeah, and I got a few.
And Dre got a few. Too. So these are we swimming in deep feet. We swimming in 8-9 feet. You know what I'm saying? 10 feet of water. When we come back on at least one more episode, with just me and Dre. But we got some guests for you guys for the rest of the series. We have our dear brother and friend, Mike Smith. We have my own father, Ray Roberson. Just a quick side note, fun fact. I almost ended up a junior, bro.
Oh, yeah?
If I'm not mistaken, I almost ended up a junior. I think, no. Maybe not. But, I'll reveal it when my dad get on. But that episode is dropping next week. And then we have Dre's mentor, I believe, coming on at the end to close us out. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun fatherhood series. And we are looking forward to it. Join us every Friday for the Flip the Switch podcast. Hit us up in the DMs and the comments on YouTube, Instagram. We Flip the Switch. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know of any topics that you guys want us to talk about. Any questions on fatherhood that you guys have, that would be greatly appreciated, just for the sake of us wanting to make sure that we give you guys what you want content-wise. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have some questions, and we can answer those. We can get some answers for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So hit us up.
Y'all might have some stories. If you want to hit us up with a story, let us know.
Yeah, we could use that for in place of the random opinion, so to speak, of the week or whatever. Or we could include it on the bonus episodes and things like that. We'll acknowledge you, you know what I'm saying? State your names if you want us to state your name. If not, we won't. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep you anonymous. But yeah, hit us up. Let us know what y'all are thinking. Hit us up on the Apple Podcast. Give us ratings and reviews. 5 stars. I ain't playing with y'all. Keep telling y'all that. But on the real though, man, just hit us up. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, this is the Flip the Switch podcast where we flip the switch on everything.
Everything.
It's not just our podcast, it's y'all podcast.
It's your podcast.
And we sincerely mean that. So we out.
We out.
Now my life so vigorous, no more impotence. And yeah, the victory's in him, so it's imminent. Possibilities infinite, they like where he went. Cause all things have become new, and it's evident. Now his presence in my life is so prevalent. Went from filthy rags to now I'm fresher than a peppermint. His word light up.